I love ending our week of shows always with you because you are an amazing expert in the field of autism. You're the head of the research and development for the Center for Autism and Related Disorders and the director of the Autism Research Group. But you also are just, on top of all that, just a great resource for parents. You put things in a way that we all understand and just soothes us, and you get it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I can't give a better compliment than that. So I'm going to dive right in to some questions that we have. And one person wrote in with a question about skills, but I think it's more in terms, I think it fits for everything.
Okay.
They want to know, when working with a high-functioning preteen on skills, do we explain the purpose of the lesson to him and qualify responses? And they said that they love the program and the humor that we show here, and thanks for balancing the bad news with the good. We try. We try. Some days it's easier than others, right? But we try. So, what do you think? Because this is a really good question, right?
Great question. So I get to restate the question. Do you sort of explain why you're teaching what you're teaching, or explain the rationale behind it, or qualify what you're doing before you do it?
Or even tell them the response. What I'm looking for is for you to do this, and this is the response that I'm looking for.
Got it. Yeah, fantastic. So, okay, so first of all, I always think that it's better to treat the individual that you're working with, whether it's your client or your student or your son or daughter, treat them with the dignity that you would want to be treated with. So if someone was telling you what to do and training you, you'd probably want to know what's going on, right? You probably wouldn't appreciate someone just bossing you around and keeping secrets from you, right? Mm-hmm. So that's just sort of my general perspective. So first of all, yeah, definitely just have a conversation. If the individual has the verbal capabilities, the language abilities to understand the conversation, just have a conversation. Like, hey, look, sometimes you have a tough time with understanding where people are coming from with your friends. Sometimes maybe it's a little confusing. You don't understand what your friend wants versus what you want or whatever. So we're actually going to just practice and learn some of that. Nothing wrong with that.
And I think that especially when it's somebody that has the functionality to understand that, it speeds it up.
I think it does too. And you might get a little resistance, right? The individual might even say like, well, I don't want to work on that, or I don't want to learn that. But then that's an opportunity to talk about why it actually matters. And the why it matters part is way more important than just getting the kid to behave correctly, right? If he or she actually understands the motivation or the rationale behind why I might want to take my friend's perspectives into consideration, then they're more likely to actually do it for the right reason, not just because mom or dad or teacher or therapist is making them do it.
Why didn't it occur to me to line it out that way to him before too?
Right.
Just do this and then you're
done.
done.
I might want to address maybe the second part of the question though too, which is do we actually tell the kid kind of how we want them to respond, right?
Okay.
And so that's a tricky question. There's some gray area there because on the one hand, you want the learner to be successful. You don't want them guessing and having a hard time and being unsuccessful and you getting frustrated or the therapist getting frustrated. We want learning to work and we want the kid to be successful. On the other hand, we don't want just repetition or rote memorization or just imitation, right? We don't want the kid just seeing, oh, well, the therapist said this particular sentence, so I guess I'm supposed to say that. No, right? With higher order social skills and social cognition or perspective taking skills, we're teaching a general concept and how to apply that concept to one's own social interactions. So what we want to see is variable responding, lots of different ways of doing the same thing. So for example, if you're playing with your friend and your friend starts to look bored with the toys that you're playing with, what should you do? Maybe suggest a different toy, right? So is it okay to model one particular way of doing that? Absolutely, right? Like you might tell the kid, okay, well you could say, what do you want to play with? Or how about playing with trains or something, right? No problem, right? But then that very same day that you do that, also make sure that you get the kid to practice 5 other different ways of doing that, right? It's not rote memorization, right? We're not, and when you know you're done is when the learner actually comes up with new ways of responding under those circumstances that you never directly taught. That's the evidence that they get the concept and they're able to apply it.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called generalization.
Generalization.
That's the thing that we're always working for, always.